Hello there, and welcome to the Marketing SOS Show. I'm your host, Eric E., and here on the Marketing SOS Show, it's all about me helping you or helping someone in the audience with their marketing questions or marketing problems. So each and every episode, I sit here and take questions from you, the listener, and do my very best to answer them based on my years of experience in this space, doing marketing experiments. And I hope this episode finds you well. This is episode number 68, debuting here in March amid the coronavirus scares all over the world. So hopefully, no matter where you are, you're staying safe and healthy, and things are looking good for you. Hopefully, the next few weeks are great as well, and no issues spring up on your end. Now, with that being said, we have a little bit of an issue today with our listener, Trevor, who's a new hire at a company, and he doesn't know if the partner they're working with for PPC or pay-per-click advertisements is taking them to the cleaners as it is, just based on the value that they're delivering and the amount that they're charging. I think this can be a problem for most organizations when you are paying a partner for something that you're not expert in, or you don't know the industry or what rates you should be paying. And maybe the way that they're pricing their structure makes sense with your other contractors, but it doesn't really make sense with the work that they're doing. So let's dig into this a little more with Trevor's question just after this. So Trevor writes, "Hi Eric, I'm a newly hired web editor. My organization is already working with the PPC consultancy firm that does 37 hours of work a month. However, we're only planning to spend $2,700 a month on PPC, pay-per-click. We're paying the PPC firm $5,000 a month for the 37 hours, and I don't think that makes a lot of sense, right? I guess my question is, what's a good ratio for campaign budget versus what you spend on PPC consultant? Thanks, Trevor." Well, Trevor, definitely a great question. I guess it really comes down to how effective are these pay-per-click consultants and the ads they're running for your business. Now, yes, paying them $5,000 and they're only spending $2,700 seems like an exuberant difference. However, if they're doing really good and you're getting gangbuster numbers, great return on investment, and they have a fantastic expertise and they're tweaking things all the time to make sure that $2,700 is optimized for you, yeah, maybe it is worth it. So really, you should dig in and look at how much money or leads or whatever metric you're using for the success of those PPC ads on the back end, on your side. What do those metrics look like? Are you getting a return on this investment? Are you getting a return on the $2,700 plus the $5,000 a month? And is that return great enough to justify continuing to go forward with these folks? So who knows? They could be doing a fantastic job with your ads. However, in general, with the people I've seen doing PPC, I'm going to assume that they're not. Now, that may be a gross oversimplification with knowing very little information here, but my gut says you're getting ripped off, buddy. So all that being said, in this situation and likely many others, you are right. It does make sense. $2,700 isn't a ton of cash to be spending on ads monthly, and I would wonder if there's really 37 hours of time needed to maintain this amount. So really, you're looking at whether this consultancy is actively managing your ads or if they're just managing your ads passively. So in general, a lot of PPC, again, pay-per-click agencies will charge around 20% of your ad spend. So in your case, spending $2,700, I would expect an agency to charge like $540, not $5,000. It also isn't uncommon for companies to charge up to 30%, which is still far lower than the $5,000 you're paying on a per hour basis. They're essentially charging $135 an hour regardless of how well the ad performs or how much money you're spending on it. This would be great for you if your ad budget was insanely high, like in the tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it isn't. If you were to even increase your ad spend dramatically, would their costs go up? Or could you just keep paying $5,000? Would it scale at that point? So how are your ads doing? With these folks spending around 10 hours per week, give or take, on your ads, you should be noticing consistent improvements on the performance. If not, what the heck are they doing aside from billing you? If they aren't updating and tweaking the imagery and creative at least weekly, you're likely getting taken for a ride. If they're just passively managing your ad accounts, then you are definitely paying too high of a price tag. If they're doing other work for you, like building your landing pages, your emails, etc., then this could be a different story. But judging by your email, it sounds like it's just purely pay-per-click advertising. So I think you need to find a new partner, Trevor. So Trevor, thank you so much for the question. Unfortunately, it does seem like I think you're being ripped off a little bit, or at least being overcharged, and whoever put this agreement in place prior to you getting here might not have known what they were paying for and just kind of went along with it because they didn't want to look like they didn't know what they were talking about, which happens all the time in business, in the real world, more than you would think from professionals. Now, there is nothing inherently wrong with this pricing structure if they are delivering results. But based on your ad budget and things like that, unfortunately, they're not. Now, I know in this episode, in this question, we mentioned PPC a lot, which stands for pay-per-click. So for those of you out there that are unfamiliar with this term, it's basically exactly what it sounds like. You place ads and you pay every time someone clicks on them. So this could be on a variety of platforms. The most popular ones definitely being like Google and Facebook on the different kind of advertising mediums that they use on those two platforms. Now, typically, you'll pay a certain dollar amount per click, depending on how you've segregated it, how competitive the keywords are, how many other competitors want to go after that same audience you're trying to reach. That's when the price starts to really go up. So that's what pay-per-click is. Now, I kind of alluded to it a second ago in that I think someone went along with this proposal because they didn't know better. I think one thing that a lot of people here in 2020 experience is that everyone's afraid to say, I don't know. I don't know the answer. Let me get back to you. I don't know. Instead, you want to save face in front of your colleagues, your boss, or these partners that you respect, and you go along with whatever they're selling you. Now, sometimes you have to go with the flow here. But in other cases like this, the company is spending a lot of money and probably not making it back. I know I mentioned to Trevor to look at those metrics that he had on his side, besides just the money that they're paying up front. But I'm pretty sure that any manager actively managing a budget and responsible for delivering metrics would not let this fly. There's no way that I could justify spending this much money if I'm not getting results. I would hazard a guess that Trevor's company isn't even measuring any metrics or benchmarking how their products are doing or benchmarking how their ads are doing or what their marketing campaigns are doing. This is probably one of the cases where someone up high says they need to do PPC, SEO, and follow these latest trends. They don't necessarily know how to do that, so they get an expert to do it, like this consultancy that bills them an exorbitant amount, and then that manager can say, yes, we are doing PPC, check the box, move on, add to the budget for next year, and just keep paying it over and over and over again. Now, Trevor, you sound like an ideal client here, or your company does, in that they can make a ton of money off you and just passively manage you. But if you're not getting the results, you got to have a sit-down conversation with them, looking over what you expect, what you need, what they can promise to deliver, and renegotiating that contract or tearing it right up and trying to get out of it whichever way you can. So Trevor, thank you again for the question. Thank you everyone for listening. And if you'd be so kind to help the show out, leave a ratings and review in whatever podcast player you listen to. It truly does help the show, helps me grow it, and it helps me keep giving you free marketing advice for whatever question you may have. You may not have a question today, but who knows? Yeah, a few years from now, you may. And I hope that I guess I'll be here for you with this show. So thank you again for listening. My name is Eric Key, and with that, I am out.